Are we live? Are we live? Let me see this. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Twitch. Create a dashboard. You're live. I'm now live. Awesome. Okay. This is probably the most excited I have been for a stream, just because I'm so scared. It's like that one Squid Games meme. Connected to YouTube chat successfully. Is that true? Did I actually connect? Let me change this up. Deltarune. Deltarune. Chapter 5. I have a thumbnail for this one too. I was out. I was outside, but I did also prepare for this. I love this thumbnail, dude. Hold on, let me just put it on screen because I don't think you can see it otherwise. Oh, files. Oh, it has to be a picture. Whoops. Let me get it. Image. Browse file. There we go. Look at this. Look at this image, dude. Look at this thumbnail. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Um. All right. Let me get the live in. Okay. Here we go. All right. We can get rid of that. Oh shit! I didn't mean to move the game. All right. Let me go delete that. And actually, wait. There's probably a way I can keep the white light up and also still see the chat. If I do this, okay, that's perfect. That's what it'll look like for the game. It's time to get weird. All right. Actually, wait, dude. I have music too. This is the most I've prepared for a stream, and by prepared I mean I spent like 5 minutes. Here we go. Got some music. Cause here's the thing, right? Deltarune's weird route is very weird, surprisingly, right? Agency represent. You already know. CTC. Shout out CTC. Probably shouldn't shout him out. A guy's he's been cancelled 20 times. Yeah, Deltarune's weird route is very weird, and even though I feel like, you know, I am one of the few people, at least on YouTube, who's talked about it so thoroughly. Because I mean, all the other people who are like really in depth about the weird route, they're all on Tumblr. You know, they're all the Kris Association meta folks over there, and they're great writers and all. But I don't think people realize how bizarre this route is. Like I know they are, but like for as much time I've spent writing and thinking and creating videos on the route, like I think I'm honestly more confused about what the route is or what it's trying to say than anybody else. And I think it's because I've done that. So I feel like I have a lot to say about it. And we'll see. But I have a lot to say about the weird route, and a lot of that saying is just saying I don't know where it's going, right? So I have a list of like dot points of things I wanted to talk about with this preamble, because the last time I'm gonna only have the knowledge of like chapter 1 to 4 weird route or chapter 2 to 4 weird route in me before I start chapter 5. And it seems like chapter 5 weird route is kind of crazy from the couple of people who pop into the chat. They're like, oh, you haven't done the weird route yet? Oh my god, you're so lucky, or whatever. And I'm just like, what? I mean, maybe I'm just known as the weird route guy because, like, I mean, all my videos touching it that are on Deltarune basically. But yeah, so I have 5 things I wanted to go through. So the weird route's narrative, the weird route's meta narrative, some of my critiques about the weird route that I never really got to express actually. We're gonna be talking about some of the themes and my predictions for the weird route. And I'll try to keep this preamble somewhat short. Already like 5 minutes in the stream, but I don't want it to take more than 20 minutes. So This might be the first stream VOD where I actually like put timestamps in, so some people like, you know, if they just want to see me play the game, they can just see me play the game. So, as for the narrative, what is the Weird Rat trying to say? Now, a lot of my opinions I've fleshed out a lot more clearly in my videos. So, I think Deltarune is still a very existential story about narratives and control. And I mean those words in the broadest sense of the terms. Like when I say control, I mean like player control, I mean like individual agency, I mean control in the concept of free will, right? When I talk about narratives, I'm talking about self-imposed narratives, you know, preconceived notions. I'm talking about like literal fiction, right? Like I'm trying to like keep these as broad and abstract as possible, right? With that being said, what is happening in the Weird Realm, right? I have held a pretty controversial opinion since the start of Chapter 3 and 4's release that Kris is at least partially culpable in the Weird Route. Now that is still surprisingly a somewhat controversial take, I think, because the Weird Route is horrific, it's gruesome, it's malevolent in a way that even Undertale's genocide route isn't, and that's called the genocide route. I have friends who, you know, they don't really care, like they'll play through the genocide route in Undertale, but I had a friend who told me like, oh, I didn't even want to do the Weird Route when Chapter 3 and 4 came out, and they didn't knew about Chapter 2's Weird Route. Chapter 3 and 4's Weird Route is like a step beyond Chapter 2. People talk about, I'm not going to go into depth about it here, because it is fairly enough, it is a bit of a sensitive topic, but I mean, Chapter 4's Weird Route scene is very clearly an allegory, and I think some people haven't even discussed about how deep that allegory actually goes, outside of it just being an abusive relationship. But even, you know, some like the kind of weird, grossish, romantic undertones the scene has, the fact that you're like invading what is a safe space in Noelle's house, even just like the imagery of like, you know, proceed, or like the fact that it's like a thorn, like there's so much to it that all feels very intentional. And actually, maybe I'll bring up my critiques of the Weird Route first then. I don't like that the imagery was changed. Actually, funnily enough, I like the last imagery that was used the most, like by and large, like just the glass shattering animation is so striking. That's the one I actually saw when I played through the Weird Route, and dude, it was just like, holy shit. I felt like the sound was almost overkill at that point, because like, yeah, I know I've done something bad. But those three symbols that we used for the Weird Route animation, so the rose, the petal falling off, the singular dot representing what I think is a soul, and the glass shattering, those are three very different symbols. And the reason why I don't like that is just from an artistic point of view, that feels like it feels a bit foreboding. It almost feels like the symbol wasn't that really thought out or intentional, and that makes me worried for like the rest of the route, like how much of the route is planned, right? Like the Weird Route only started in Chapter 2. Like was this an afterthought after the idea of Deltarune came up? Like was it an idea that Toby Fox decided to have in Chapter 2? Is it something that he's like constantly working on and thinking? I don't know, but that is potentially a little bit foreboding, right? And just to go in a bit more depth, you know, when you see a rose being deflowered or losing its petals, it symbolizes like loss. Like Noelle's lost something in this route. She's like lost like her innocence. She's lost her autonomy. There's a lot of things she's like losing in this route. She's potentially losing, you know, her quote unquote friends in Burley, potentially her father and Rudy. That's its own symbol, right? And that represents something for the route. The dot does not really represent loss. That represents some form of manipulation. You're now taking control. There's now some sort of possession over Noelle. That's, to me, what it signified. That's very different to the rose. And now, to me, the glass shattering, that is by far the strongest, just from a visual standpoint, it's the strongest imagery. And I just think it looks so cool. Just intuitively, it feels the most striking. And that represents, you know, something shattering, something breaking. You know, there's a prophecy of glass that breaks throughout. So you're breaking some sort of route. You're going off some sort of beaten path. You're literally breaking the game. And that the glass shattering really feels like an image to the player. Like I think that really reinforces that you're doing something horrible in a way the other two images don't. But the fact that these are all different images, and the fact that the quite possibly the best symbolism was kind of added retroactively, makes me kind of concerned. Like how much of this was actually planned? Is the route really written around like the loss, or is it written around this this form of breaking the game, breaking the prophecy, breaking whatever it may be, that has me a bit worried about the quality of the writing. But truthfully, I feel like secret bosses were also an afterthought. Like the Shadow Crystals are only added in after chapter 1, so I don't actually really have an issue if people go back and revisit the work, especially with games. But it's just there's such very different symbols. It just feels like they all represent very different things, and this is like the apex of the game's most well-known secret. I would have assumed there would be more thought put into it, more planning around it, and like, I mean, you change that visual, but you don't change anything else in the game. Does that mean everyone else is interpreting everything else right? Like, I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, with that all being said, narratives. I say all this, but I still think Kris is at least partially culpable for the weird route, and honestly, after playing through chapter 5, my thoughts have only strengthened further. Kris is willing to damn near die. Even if they need the soul, they go green without the soul, trying to do whatever it is, and they'll still like oppose things, they'll still do all these terrible things to themselves. But they just kind of let parts of the weird route almost slide. And I mean, I just believe in Occam's razor. I just think the easiest explanation is the best, right? And like that's what it is, right? If Kris is at least partially culpable for the route, that like it makes a lot more sense than, oh, okay, well the soul actually arbitrarily gets more powers in the weird route, and also at certain times, just at certain times, like Kris just loses complete agency. They can't rip us out anymore for some reason. Like there's so many like attributes to add about the soul's power and all that's just not really there. I just feel it'd fall flat because it'd all be post hoc writing that like, oh, actually the soul has more power here. Like why can't I have the power to stop Kris from, you know, not opening up weird fountains? Why do they keep opening up weird fountains? Not weird fountains, dark fountains. If the player doesn't want them doing that, right? It's very messy. I just think Kris seems to be partially culpable. And actually, something I did very briefly touch on in the Markiplier video, and also I left a note about it because it could have been its own video, but it didn't really feel pertinent to the weird route at that time. I theorized this isn't why Kris is okay with the weird route. I don't think Kris is okay with the route. They're clearly not. I'm just saying like they could have done more to stop it, and they know that, which is probably also why it's more painful to them. I think Kris is a little jealous of Noelle. If you think about it from Kris's perspective, Noelle is someone who's rich, she's well loved in town. As much as her parents are, you know, kind of shitty or half dying, she has two parents who are heavily invested in her life in a way that Kris's parents aren't invested in her life, you know? Both Kris and Noelle have an older sibling. The difference is Azrael overshadows Kris. There's not a single conversation adult has with Kris that doesn't mention Azrael. People don't even give a shit about Des. So Noelle gets the spotlight in a way Kris never got, and they're ostracized by the town in a way Noelle isn't. Noelle's like the model citizen in the town. And you think back to even all the stories of Kris pranking Noelle growing up. There's that whole saying, like there's like a shred of truth to every joke you tell. I'm not saying Kris did the pranks because they hate Noelle, but they're clearly friends with Noelle. But the fact that they'd be willing to pull so many almost like kind of meanish pranks on Noelle speaks to me that, and like on Noelle specifically, because it doesn't seem like they pull these pranks on other people in town. It doesn't look like they pulled it on, you know, Azrael or anyone else. That might have come out of just like a shred of like pettiness or hatred towards Noelle. Also, Noelle's house, they got a big ass piano. She doesn't even play the piano. Kris does. Kris's house, they don't have a piano. So there's so much there. There's so much writing that like would indicate that Kris could be jealous of Noelle. And after playing through chapter 5, jealousy was a running theme, you know? The chapter ends with Susie just being unable to shut up about Noelle, giving Noelle her own little home in the dark world right next to her own. And it does seem like Kris was a little interested in Susie, and, you know, with how chapter 5 went out, there's all the more reason for Kris to be a little jealous of Noelle. You add to that, the whole story, the through line of chapter 5 was Ralsei being jealous of Flowery. Flowery is just kind of a better Ralsei in some regards. He's more well liked and received, and you know he's not as defeatist through his kind of fatalistic attitude. So that would make a pretty interesting foil to Kris, that they're both kind of jealous of these characters that are replacements to them. Because, you know, in the light world, Noelle's just a better version of Kris. In the dark world, Noelle's just a better version of Kris. Like, Noelle has these healing powers and these damaging powers. She has all these things that Kris doesn't, even in the dark world. Like, she's just better. And there's no doubt Kris could potentially feel that with how, like, fucking terrible their life is and how existential they are. As for the meta narrative, and this is why I'm so confused about the weird route. Undertale, to me, critiqued player completionism. It critiques this form of nostalgia, of wanting to just, you know, stay in your own bubble, not challenge your preconceived notions, just kind of play and play and play. And a lot of times, when we play games, we play them so much, we get detached to it. That's why all League of Legends players are like that, right? I say that as someone who has probably 5,000 hours in the game. I mean, look at the CS players, they're even crazier. But the point is, like, Undertale challenges that, you know? It's like the more you get detached from the game, the more the game notices that and foils that and all. It's very brilliant design, and I don't think you can go from a game like that and then have like a very basic message of, hey, controlling Kris is bad, making them do bad things is bad, in this meta narrative in the game. And the reason why I think there is a meta narrative message is there's so many like pointers to these meta elements of the game. Like, the game could have just been a fine story and narrative in of itself, but why have these player selection menus? Why make all these strange references to the player? Why mention the battle UI? Why have that be a major plot beat that Ralsei finds out about the battle UI and wants to hide that from Susie? Why make these all major plot beats if there isn't going to be some crazy meta narrative to the game? So I just think it's going to be at least as complex as Undertale, with as much like depth and nuance as Undertale, as opposed to just, hey, did you know that if you like were to control someone to do things they didn't want to do, that's actually bad? As opposed to Undertale making like this kind of poignant message on like, hey, nostalgia is a really powerful feeling, but sometimes it can, you know, hold us back. That nostalgia can very quickly become like a very akinetic form of parasitism that's really just a form of self-harm, this kind of soulless obsession. You move away from what made it nostalgic for you in the first place by obsessing over and over and just removing yourself from it. So I don't think it's just going to be a very cut and dry message about player control. Okay, I'm already almost at 20 minutes, Jesus. Okay. I don't think the weird route can critique player completionism either, right? Because there's so many damn secrets in the game. There's all these egg rooms. You know, you arguably like put Kris through some pressure by making them go to the egg rooms and by making them fight at least Spamden. Like, you literally give them a panic attack. You don't need to otherwise. So you're still harming Kris for doing some of these secrets. Sometimes you aren't. But it doesn't look like there's any like critique. Like, no one says it's bad that you're doing the egg rooms or secret bosses. I haven't seen anyone argue that these routes are just as bad as the weird route, morally speaking, even though you could honestly make an argument for it. And I don't think Toby Fox is trying to go that route, right? Because I don't see how you can say like, hey, you know, taking the unbeaten path in the game, like a different route is a bad thing. You shouldn't do that as a player. You should just experience the game the way you want to. Because first of all, one, you still wrote it in the game. It feels very kind of weirdly masochistic almost to like put this route in the game if there's no deeper meaning. Like, why would you want your characters to go through this? This is a very miserable game already, and this route's even more miserable. To add to that, what was I gonna say? Yeah, can't critique player completionism. Yeah, you have all these ARGs. Undertale didn't have that. Like, Deltarune is going to have crazier theorydom. Like, if you didn't want this theory, if you wanted to make a larger critique on it, don't have this. Like, be an example of how to have a game people don't obsess over and try to overanalyze. Like, don't give them the ARGs. You're clearly like leaning into it. So I don't think it's critiquing player completionism or player obsession. I think it'll critique players not being able to move on, but that's like when things are all said and done, at least. But that's different to completionism. Completionism is going back for more, but like not realizing why you want that more and being so detached from what made you want it in the first place, right? And yeah, I don't think the weird route's going to critique the player for trying to force their will onto the game or like wanting a different ending. Because first of all, it's a video game. Like, you force your will onto it just naturally by playing the game. It's just, I don't think it's something that is something you can really critique. And on critiquing the player wanting a different ending, like, does the player even really want a different ending? Like, it doesn't feel like it. Like, I don't know. I feel like Deltarune is just gonna have like a happy ending in the normal route. Like, I don't mind seeing it, and even if it's bad, like, I just want to play the game. Like, generally speaking, Toby Fox, like, he doesn't like try to predict what the player will feel. He mostly just speaks on their action, and it made sense speaking on the player's actions in Undertale when you got complete free control, and it was more very like surface level, point blank. Okay, if you're going through and doing all this grinding, you probably just want to see the ending. Like, that makes sense. He's not saying, oh, you're sick in the head for doing this, you're evil, you must have felt sad when you killed Toriel. He doesn't say any of that. Maybe you can hear that in the background. Precursor for the weird route. I'm so fucking scared. So, just to summarize the points I've written up so far, I don't know where the fuck the weird route's going. I don't understand its narrative. I don't understand its meta narrative. I'm just really fucking scared. When it comes to themes, so on the topic of jealousy, I think the idea of like replacement, of like subservience, could be like a real big running theme through chapter 5 with what we saw of the pacifist route. You know, Ralsa getting replaced by Flowery. So now we're going to have potentially Kris getting replaced by Noelle. We saw like Noelle's like developing like a soul or something. I still don't know what the hell's going on there. We heard like the weird route sound when Askell was retelling his story. So I don't know what that's about. I'm so confused. Yeah, the replacement thing. Yeah, so if Noelle replaces like Kris, that could tie into Ralsa's arc in the pacifist route. I think so far all my analyses have held up. I mean, that's the point. Like, an analysis is going to hold up. You're just like trying to understand the game. A prediction or a theory might not, because that actually is falsifiable. But I mean, that's like the fun in it, right? As for my predictions, I think this will be the end of the weird route. I've written that down. A couple of reasons why. One, the crystal shards. There's 5 of them. There's the 5th secret boss here, and I mean, now we get all the crystal shards. Toby Fox said chapter 6 was easier to develop than chapter 5, or it's going to be very easy to develop. I think one of those reasons could be because there is no weird route. That's a lot more you have to write and test in the game and QA and all. And the biggest reason is there was an ARG that listed off all the chapters, and certain numbers were larger depending on, people were assuming, based on how large of an impact or how big the weird route was. And, the weird route was in that chapter. So chapter 2, or the number 2 on that site was the biggest. 4 was like half the size of chapter 2. 3 was tiny, and then chapter 5 was damn near the size of chapter 2, which has me worrying. Something crazy is going to happen in chapter 5. Now, initially playing through chapter 5, with how happy and upbeat it was, I couldn't imagine going through the Dark World after we do whatever happens in the weird route in chapter 5. But in retrospect, I think we still might actually go to the Dark World in chapter 5. For one, it's like you spend so much time developing the Dark World, adding in all these mechanics. Surely you'd want to revisit it even on the alternate paths. And then 2, you can buy weapons for Kris still. There's an option you get to get weapons for, or weapons based on some of the flower characters you meet in chapter 5, and one of the items that you can buy from Cyan is just a knife, and it's like, why would you ever want to attack enemies outside the weird route? So to me, I think we do visit the Dark World. I was initially thinking in my head, like, okay, what could some other predictions be? Maybe we fight a different secret boss in chapter 5. Bad Miu Miu feels a little out of character for some of the secret bosses. Like, she doesn't really as cleanly fit into, you know, some of the patterns we have with other secret bosses of like these recurring enemies, or recurring like kind of guys that like reinforce all the themes of determinism and free will. But also at the same time, I need to like reread through Mad Miu Miu's lines. I didn't even realize she was working the shop until I went to the shop afterwards, after like beating her. I thought that was like a completely different character, to be honest. Yeah, so I think like a different secret boss would be cool, or something, or like you know, extra areas in the light world. But I don't think that's going to happen, because I mean, this chapter came out pretty fast compared to chapter 3 and 4, and I don't know how much of it was being developed before in that period. So I don't know. I'm terrified. Okay, let me just hold on. Let me pull up my OBS again. Let me. That is my preamble. I think I'm done. I'm done yapping. That was damn near 30 minutes or 20 minutes. All right, cool. Let me delete this. Get rid of the lo-fi beats. Turn off that for a second. And I gotta turn on my game volume now. God, I am so terrified. Like, everyone's been hyping it up. Okay, I don't know why my game is quiet. Oh, it's because I muted it. Ah, who would have thought? Okay. This is my weird route save file. Uh... Okay, you know what? Kris, I know it's the weekend, but you've not left your room all day. Plus, Kris didn't even go outside. The festival's today, you know? The sun is going down now. If you get up now, you can still see the parade. Kris, at the very least, you should eat something. There's some honey toast on the table downstairs. Made it for you. Well, I'll be downstairs reading. I know it's been difficult without your brother. But... oh. No one can make you get out of bed, honey. Whoa. Okay. So... that's me trying to, like, force them out. Like, I'm mashing. Oh my god. Dude, you gotta, like, mash. Oh my god. Huh? Whoa. What the fuck? We just can't read anything. There's so much already going on. Holy shit. Okay, so the menus are all controlled by Kris. Or something. Number 2. Toriel's so sweet in this chapter. I feel bad, you know? Like, it's almost reminiscent of Undertale's Genocide route, where, you know, a lot of the characters step up. Kris can't read. They really are a Deltarune fan. Yeah, Kris is illiterate. It reminds me of the Genocide route, where, like, a lot of characters, they lock in. Like, they become new versions of themselves. Like, we honestly see them in their best light in the weird route. I felt the way about Birdley, actually, in the weird route. Chapter 2, he's like annoying as shit, but in the weird route, you're like, holy fuck, I actually like this guy. He's actually like a good guy. Wow. We just can't read anything. I can't even run either. Jesus. Can I drop items? I can't even use a cell phone. I was able to use a cell phone last time. Maybe when I go outside it'll be different. Kris, since chapter 1, Black Shard wristwatch, money 7. Okay. I thought my game froze for a second when I got stuck on the Fedora. I need to see. Wow, nothing happens. Yeah, I can't use a cell phone. When I play chapter 5, I could use a cell phone upstairs. I can't. Dude, my keyboard just fell off. My keycap just fell off. My arrow key. I think Kris is controlling me. That's already foreboding. Is Kris still gonna create a dark fountain? Doesn't even want to flush the toilet. Jeez. Wait, this makes the route easy to write. Hey, everything's gonna be blank. Wow, Ontario's not sleeping this time. I guess that goes to show, like, I don't know, you can be kind of lazy when other people in your life, like, I'll be like, doesn't even want to eat the sandwich. Dude, this guy's life sucks, dude. It fucking sucks. Kris, are you alright, sweetheart? You should eat something. There's some honey toast on the table for you, alright? Jeez. Maybe some festival games might cheer you up? I'm sure Susie would love to play with you. Okay. Okay, just to add, because I did give this in the preamble. When I say Kris is culpable, I don't mean Kris wanted the weird route. I just mean they could have done more to stop it. Because they look at how hard they're resisting now, you know? Like, it's very much like the player's like choice, but it kind of feels like they could have done more. Okay. Hey, took you long enough. You trying to sleep through the festival or something? Huh. Noah's waiting for you at the beach. She told me to get you. Yeah, we already kind of hung out. I guess you gotta go. Can't even talk to Susie. Hey, wait a sec. You wouldn't, I mean, you wouldn't want to see the festival first, would you? Yeah, I saw everything with Noelle, but like, I still want to see how you'd react to stuff too, you know? Come on, it'll be fun. Yeah, everyone's over there to see the festival king and queen. It's, lame, right? I mean, like, why's gotta be a king and queen? Whatever we are, it's cooler, right? No, in a weird way. Alright, buddy. You know, royalty schmoyalty. We rule the festival right now, right? Oh, talking about that. Doing the king and queen vote thing with Noelle was fun. I put down me and her, plus some extra epic drawings. See? I used the green pen for my radioactive breath. She voted before I saw hers though. She was like, super excited to write her. Huh. Wait, that... The green radioactive breath low-key is a reference to, the Hagjagya. Shit, okay. And add you in, like, getting melted by me. I mean, the beach is this way, I'm pretty sure. Let's go check out the other areas, though. Wow, it's so pretty. Oh, hell, Kris, you're not gonna believe this. Free rolls, and honey packets, and butter. That's like, basically a good sandwich. Ketchup, salt, water, that's free tomato soup. We're living in luxury. Bon appetit, right? Hey, sweet, no one's in there. That means free grape soda, and who could wear their uniforms and pretend to work there? And take like pics of us standing in the salad. Oh, there we go. Burger King foot lettuce meme. Outdated meme in my bingo. It was like number 15. Got that down. Oh yeah, me and Noelle rode this. She didn't even look out the window though. The whole time she was just resting her head on my shoulder. Dude, my heart was beating like crazy. I don't get how she was so calm. Anyway, gonna ride the wheel? Sure. Alright, I call shotgun. Hey Kris, everything good? You just seem kind of weird. Whoa, wait a sec. Kris, did you feel that? Earthquake! Damn, that was close. We almost... Okay. See, knew that'd make you laugh. Hey, sit over on my side. The view's better. If you being in a headlock, idiot. Hey, stop pretending to snore. What I might see, guys? A big pillow? Don't nod. Phew, guess that's about it, huh? That's pretty fun, right? Imagine if that, like, locks me out of the route now. That's sweet. Human, I remember your weird routes. Come on, say the line, say the line. Hey, are you the ice cream stand? Nah, that's next to me. What are you then? The ice cream stands. Okay, can we get some ice cream? Could you fill out this card? Whatever, what do I put in it? Just draw you and your friends in it. Nobody can give you a discount. Alright, whatever. Here, me, Kris, and, Ralsei. I know we can't use it, but I gotta put him on. Thanks. So, when do we get some ice cream? Whoops. I don't have any. What do you mean you don't? The stand will finish. The stand will after it finishes churning. In the meanwhile, why don't you take this? You got the bread? Okay. Bread? Why do you have this? To make ice cream sandwiches. Huh? It's kind of a good idea. Just gotta wait until the ice cream's done. I'll walk you to the beach though. You know, when you want to go. Or ask him we'll be ready later. Take it easy, okay, kid? No one's looking. Let's mess with the sign. Nope. Now people think it's closed. Hey, thanks, miss. I was meaning to do that. Damn it. Okay. Bread. A loaf of bread. Tends to leave crumbs wherever it goes. Hey, don't eat that. Save it for later. You know, ice cream sandwiches. Ah, wait. What's going on here? Why can I read every single item besides the bread? What's so special about the bread? Is this the Eucharist? Is Sans like Jesus? Huh? This house is pretty new, right? Don't really remember what was here before, though. Dude, Temmie left all her art crap. Let's draw in a sketchbook. Hey, what? Her art's like crazy good. Man, even she's like good at stuff, huh? Yeah, she's a genius. Yeah, she'll be going to college too. Just like Noelle and everyone else. Hey, you're gonna go too, right? Beats me. Yeah, the hell am I asking that now for? Guess because Temmie reminds me of college? And like, yams for some reason? What's that a reference to? Damn, no one's home. Even this one's empty. Dude, now that Noelle's not here, we should totally get a hose and fill that cup. No further plans. Damn, that annoying lazy guy isn't even here. Yeah, I am. Huh? I'm just lying down conspicuously out of view. What the hell are you doing that for? Getting Raisin's face down on the floor. I can't really blame him for that. Why aren't you in the ice cream stand? Can't really eat ice cream face down on the floor. Damn, I hate when he's right. Okay. Tem went to college. Oh, going to college. As in when, yeah. Tem going to study neuroscience. At Yale. Dude, no, I don't know what the hell this is. That's why you're here, to explain. Nothing? When me and Noelle played earlier, she, like, held the hammer with me at the same time. And we hit it with the wrong end, and the bell, it just kind of flew off somewhere.
Tem gonna get employed by BlackRock. Tem got an internship with Palantir. Tem, he'll help building paramilitary drones.
She just said it was better than winning, yeah. Oh, let's play. I won. Jesus. This shit's so fucking sad, bro. What? The last time we played, like, they had a little, like, play fight. We'll save the school girl. Why is it... I don't know. Like, Sans has some powers or something. That's, like, my only explanation. Or Kris just really fucking loves bread. Like, I don't know why we could... Okay, you're alive. You didn't fall. We save Rudy in the weird route. That's actually why I did it, alright? We're actually the good guys in the weird route. Hey, dude, are you okay? Shouldn't you be at the King and Queen thing? Oh, Carol and Rudy won King and Queen. So I'm guessing Carol rigged the votes to give it to him. Okay, that's cute. Me? No, I still got some lights to finish up here. Sure, man? Seriously, it's better you learn sooner than later. Holidays are always full of surprises. Good surprises? Depends on which holiday. Haha. Okay. At least he's doing alright. Okay, bunk is blocked off. So is the cemetery. Yeah, be pretty funny to see you get jump scared, but we can't go in there, we're banned. I was feeling like the eyeball grapes or whatever, and Noelle just put her hand in the bowl and started holding mine. Yeah, they banned us for that. Sucks. Dude, let's lap up the orange goop together. But it tastes like the clay from art class. Wait, no, Noelle's dad could see. Have I done everything? Hey, they got free lemon slices here. Check this out. First, you get a bunch of free lemon slices, then you squeeze them in free lemon water, add some free sweetener, then you got, like, free lemonade. Cool, right? You got that for free. You know, it's so funny, because, like, Susie is so, like, almost, like, hyperbolically broke, like, all these struggle meals. But it's like, whenever I describe a struggle meal, like this is... Okay, how do I say it? When you talk to people who never had it rough, and you describe struggle meals, like that's how I feel when I read Susie's dialogue. Like, what do you make? Like, you're making free lemon will. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But then when I'm telling my mates, like, oh yeah, growing up, it's like if I don't have food, we just get rice and I just crush potato chips into it. Like, you get like sodium in the rice. That shit's fire. And they look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, huh? What do you mean? Shit tastes good. Wait, move your foot. Dollar coin in the ground. And get gummy monsters in my ice cream. That's like she's talking about potato chips and rice. She's talking about gummy monsters and ice cream. There we go. That's my twin. Like I grew up. I didn't even think sugar sandwiches was like a broke person thing. Like I thought sugar sandwiches was just like a normal thing people ate until like I kept hearing like raps like saying like shit like, you know, I grew up on sugar sandwiches, when I'm like, wait, is that supposed to be like a bad thing? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that's like a sign I had like good parenting. Like, I didn't really grow up off broke, definitely like a lower middle class, but I didn't realize it was like broke until I met rich people. And like there's like levels to rich people too. Like you forget that, right? Like when I grew up and it's like, oh yeah, I live in a house, an apartment. Like, oh holy shit, that person's rich. And when I went to university, people are like, I'd have conversations with people, and they'd be like, "Oh, so you don't have like a holiday home?" And I'm gonna look at them like, "What the fuck? What did you say? Do you have a holiday home? What?" And I'm like, "How the fuck do you afford a holiday home?" And they're like, "Oh, it's not that expensive." Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't realize people actually lived life like that. It's crazy. She took out like a roll of bills, probably like hundreds of dollars, and just held it out to me, smiling. I mean, I don't know if I've ever even seen that much money. Yeah, I know, dude. In this economy, not even just that. The fact that they followed up by being like, because I just still think of this conversation. I was in a group of like 4 people, like we were all just studying, and then they were like surprised I didn't have like a second house, and not even just a second house, a holiday home. And I'm like, I didn't even know what a holiday home was. I didn't even realize people got homes just for holidays. It seems so excessive, no? Like, it's crazy. I said some cheesy stuff like, man, you could get 100 grape sodas with that. I don't know why, it just felt so weird. If you had $5, I'd expect you to buy me stuff. But I guess, same back if I had $5 too. Man, even Rousey was acting kinda weird today. Guess he was just worried you slept in? I asked if he wanted me to do anything, and he was like, he just got quiet and shook his head. Anyway, let's see him later, after other stuff. You'll stare at your dad like, where are you going skiing over winter? That, yeah. Dude, look at it like the Winter Olympics, look at like the athletes, and all the athletes that their parents' names are blue, you know? Like, maybe it's just ego, like, I honestly feel like if I grew up with that kind of money, I could get like a podium finish at the Winter Olympics for like any sport. Maybe like one of like the like curling or something, like a sport you don't need any athleticism. I believe it. This is the money game. First time I heard her say that, I thought Noelle must have stole it from Carol's purse or something. No, I think Noelle's also just got like a good amount of money herself. But maybe she's very brazen in this route, you know, like being very forward with Susie. Looks like your dad's in there. Guess we don't need to hang out with him. Hey, check this out. Rousey showed me how to make this wimpy crap. That's foreboding. Yeah, it was stupid anyway. You could really go and make some like a weird like religious symbolism kind of thing here. You know, you got like a laurel wreath almost. Like crown of thorns. God, I'm so fucking scared, dude. That's the thumbnail shot. Alright. Alright, done with the festival? Sure. I gotta go wait for the ice cream, so Guess I'll see you later. Yanni read. Okay, hold on, let me hide chat. I'm gonna like log in for a bit because I think we're gonna get something crazy. Hi, Kris. I'm not good at saying this stuff, but even if we didn't really do anything, it was nice seeing the festival with you and stuff. I know me and Noelle are getting kind of close, but you're still a big deal to me too. So cheer up, okay? Hmm. See ya. Okay. This place looks like it's on fire. Bread. A loaf of bread. Tends to leave crumbs wherever it goes. Bread. Hmm. I guess the guy I still don't get about player control. Like, why block us off from going back? Oh god, she's like talking telepathically. She's talking to only to the player. Oh Jesus. Kris. I know. I know you wanted to deny it. I did too at first. But eventually, we're going to have to face the truth. The vignette? Yesterday, when everything happened, every cell in my body was screaming at me to run away. That if I stayed by your side any longer, you were going to drag me down with you. Drag me down somewhere no one is supposed to go. Huh. And you know what terrified me the most about that? I think I want that. Hmm. Ooh. Put some gross beat on the Lost Girl song. Dude, I'm gonna go make a remix of this song later. Funk remix. Okay, since Des left, all I've been doing has just been marching down my path. Staying quiet. Getting good grades. It feels like I've just been watching myself through glass. Oh, damn. You're just describing derealization, bro. You're depressed. This song's so different. Electric guitars in. Well, it kind of makes sense. You look at Kris and not Des, and Noelle as kind of like reflections as each other. I mean, Kris probably feels the same way. Okay, hold on. Can I just say, if this goes where I think it goes, this might mean both my theories are right. And I hate people who have to like. Okay, I'm not gonna go into that. Like, I kind of want my theories to be wrong. I want to like be challenged all the time, but like, hold on. Like watching myself through glass, Kris knowing they're in the game, knowing they're being watched through glass themselves, you know, feeling that way as well. Like they're literally being watched through glass. Glass that gets shattered in the weird way. Okay. Watching someone else move me through my life. Okay. Where's this going? That's why I want to do something crazy. It's like the Joker. It's why I want to break free. But I can't. I couldn't. Because I'm just Noelle. A Noelle that has to do Noelle things. There's the fatalism. Just like Kris has to do Kris things. But Kris, you changed. Okay. Okay. Okay, I was gonna say, like, thank God we haven't seen Noelle's face, because her face is so goofy. I wouldn't be able to take this route seriously if her face looked like that, but that is a gross sprite. Okay. Kris, you actually changed. You found out how to stop being Kris. And no one else has noticed. Because they don't want to. They don't want to see how interesting you are now. They'll just keep marching down the same path without even thinking where it goes. Kris, being around you is changing me too. Kris, when I cast Snowgrave, so I can't take that word seriously. Okay. I felt stronger than I have in my entire life. I know, it's horrible to say that, but... Okay, I want to say something kind of interesting. Very controversial, not controversial, like, if you watch my videos, like, I won't need to give the elaboration, but basically, like, you can view Kris's self-harm the same way you can view Noelle's harm to others, right? As both, like, reclamations of agency, of, like, internal agency, because they feel like they're being watched through glass, like, they don't have any control, they're, like, set on these fatalistic pathways through life that they can't escape, right? I think that's interesting. That kind of worries me. Like, is they all gonna kill us or something? I don't know. All right. Oh, let me just see if my OBS is still running. Okay. All right. Kris, if it's you telling me to, I can do anything. If you tell me to, I can do things that are impossible. Things no one else can do. That's also going to be referring to the soul in some way. Like, okay, you gotta read, like, everything Noelle's saying as things Kris also feels, right? That's the way I'm reading this right now. Because that's literally the soul. Like, why else does Kris need the player or the soul? Unless, like, it's something we narratively force onto them. I don't know. Okay, whatever. I don't know if I should be, like, narrating or, like, playing through. I don't know. I just... Once again, I already said, like, there's gonna be so many thoughts running through my mind playing through this route, because I don't know, this game confuses me, and this is, like, 95% of the confusion. Alright. Or, not necessarily 95% of the confusion, but I feel like understanding this will help me explain all the other confusion. Like, even stuff in, like, the normal route. Like, understanding, like, the broader themes of the game, which can be done through understanding the weird route, would, you know, help explain the rest of the game. Alright, okay. So why don't we do it? Why don't we do the weird route? Oh, something crazy. Tell me. Tell me to grow wings. And let's fly out of this stupid town. Like Spamton, okay. To somewhere no one has ever been before. The other side of the lake. We always wanted to see what was there, didn't we? The four of us when we were kids. Kris, let's go there. You'll tell me, won't you? If you tell me to, I can do anything. So, tell me, Kris. Why do I feel like she's gonna drown us? The words I've been waiting to hear. I'm so curious what happens when we... Okay, I'll go through the weird route again later, and see what happens when we stop it. Sorry, this sound cracks me up. Is she gonna drown us? The wood is nice, isn't it, Kris? Kris, don't hesitate. Ah, it's colder than I thought. Think we're locked in. Kris, don't let go of my hands. Just keep walking. Kris, just keep walking. Kris. I want to say this is the same song we heard in Chapter 4's Weird Route, but I think it's just another song like slowed down a ridiculous percentage. Kris. Ooh, that's the first time we've seen different coloring on a sprite in the light world. Is Kris choking Noelle? Oh no, they're both just drowning. Okay. I was wrong. Okay. The dream never happened. Sorry, isn't this an Ace Attorney reference? That's another Ace Attorney reference. The miracle never happened. Okay, Kris hadn't changed. I hadn't changed. I had simply gotten carried away. Huh? Haha, when did you say you made up that song? Is this a flashback? Okay, now you do one. Me? Okay. Shout out my label, that's me. I'm in this bitch with TB. Oh, French fry on the floor. It's you that I adore. Greasy and salty. Lots more? Huh, dude, you could be like a pro music guy. So this didn't happen. Well, Kris dreamed the Weird Route. I don't know. It's never really been my talent. Really? Because even when it's dumb stuff, your singing's... I really like it. Thanks, Susie. Man, today was probably one of the best days ever. Nothing changed. I thought it was one of the best days ever. But I guess it's still getting better. Noelle? Nothing changed. You mean, like, ran away from home? I guess. But I'm too weak to do that. Nothing changed. What? You're calling about Dad? Nothing changed. Because a Noelle is just a Noelle. Can I move? Nope. Hey, you okay? Phew, wasn't even sure if you were alive for a sec. Me and Noelle, kind of ended up, you know where she is? I want to get some ice cream for her, and she's just... gone. I want to go look for her, but I don't know, you don't need to be here alone, alright? Donk. Get up. Let's go. Oh. Okay. Obviously we need to go Zorgon mode. That's cute. Near, far, wherever you are. Okay. You good yet? We can go. No bread. Where's the bread at? A small shard of something in your pocket. It feels like glass, but can I use it? You look through the glass. For some strange reason, for just a moment, you thought you saw Susie in a far-off window. Unkempt and glaring. Far-off window. Where was there a window? I mean, my first thought reading this is just like a meta thing, right? Like the far-off window is my Asus VP 24/7 monitor. I don't think this is a real monitor. I think I confused my monitor names. Second thought is, okay, if I'm trying to find like the actual narrative reading, where was there a window? Where would there be a window? Maybe entering the dog world in the school area? Okay. Weird. Doesn't seem very useful. Oh. You don't need it again, dumbass. I don't know why, but I was really worried about you guys. You're both acting kind of weird, and I'm just glad you're okay. Probably said something weird again, hey. Let's go, okay? Damn, is the route just gonna play like normal from here? I gotta play through the whole chapter again, I guess. Shit, okay. Hey Kris, mind if I stop in here a sec? Chill, bro. Don't pull out the 9. It's just gonna be the weird ride again. Oh, not weird ride. It's just gonna be like the normal. Okay, well, I can play through it fast. Like now that I played through it once, should be alright. It's not gonna take me 11 hours like last time. You gotta keep in mind, when I first played this chapter, I spent 3 hours in the light world. Like just at the start, just reading through everything. I think you aborted the route. Oh shit, okay, I aborted the route. Huh. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Good to know. Damn, that's why I have chat. Okay. Let me close it then. I don't know, you could abort it. I guess what if unkempt Susie is this blah 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 blah. Let me look this up actually. Feels wrong to use a guide. Chapter 5, Weird Route, Guide. No spoilers. Just keep selecting proceed. I think I did. It cuts back to the flashback. It doesn't end when they're in the lake. You weren't supposed to make it fade to white. What? Okay. I just keep mashing, I guess. Okay. Don't press the B button. Or press the B button. Dude, it's like Toby Fox's previous hacks. Okay. What's up? Okay, I don't know if there's that many ways to stop the weird route. That's interesting. Back to where we were. The regularly scheduled program. Proceed. Keep chat open because just in case I'm doing something wrong. I don't know you can cancel it. I don't know you can cancel it. What is orange? Noelle? God, now I'm playing it so coldly. I think also I pressed the other proceed button.
like, see, there's 2 proceeds. I press the other proceed. But apparently what happens is the screen, when it fades to white, there's like more options. I just did not read it. Once again, I didn't have my glasses, so I just didn't see shit. Let's just keep walking. Hey, I'm walking, we're pressing the buttons. Okay, I'm just gonna press forward and see. Yeah, here. I didn't get this far. I think I stopped. Yeah, there's another proceed. There, that was what I missed. I missed these. God, you hear sirens in the background. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck? Why is it red? I think I'm on the weird route. Okay, I think we're on the weird route, guys. Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay. What are we, Persona 4? Fuck you mean into chapter 7, brother? I don't have chapter 7. Side B. Wow. Okay. What? What the fuck? Is that supposed to happen? Is that it? That's the whole weird route? Play completes the cutscene, the screen will fade, yeah. We'll end the chapter. Oh, that's it? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, I mean, it's still a 1-hour stream. That was interesting. Okay, you know what? I'll prop up. I'll talk a bit about this. Let's just mute this game real quick. Hold on, let me mute it there. I need to run my thoughts about it because there's so much going on there already. Trying to say stop is also interesting. Yeah, you know what? That's a good call. Let's do the other. Also, it deleted our save file. Interestingly, I mean, I guess we didn't save. Let's try the other sequences. I feel like there's a chance there's something else that happens in the if we go through the failed weird route, but that would take a lot of time to do. So I'll just stop it early and see what happens. Okay, good call. We'll cheat engine. Okay. Wow, it's so interesting. There's so much that happened in chapter 5 and at the same time so little in a weird way, where it's like we were expecting so much about like deaths or the prophecy or hearing about Ascore's case, and we don't really, but at the same time there's so much character progression, there's so much that goes on just like the actual normal narrative. Dude, I forget how long this takes. I'm really resisting. The whole bread is kind of interesting. I feel like the bread's... There's gotta be a reason we can see the bread, right? Oh, okay. It literally forces you to get the bread too, hey. Interesting. The bread is mandatory for the weird route. Kris, I know, blah, 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 blah. That's so, my predictions were completely off. Okay, my predictions, I literally wrote, okay, end of the weird route. So, first of all, that's not the end of the weird route. There's something else after that. We will explore the dark world. I was wrong about that. I think there could be a different secret boss, but the dev time suggests otherwise. Well, that's not even relevant. So, I had like 2 predictions, and they were both wrong. Well, wait, that is an interesting question then. How do we get the 5th Shadow Crystal on the weird route? Now that Chapter 5 is just blocked out for us. I think that would entail... Well, I mean, naturally, unless it's just, like, hidden in the game and... okay, there's a couple options there. I think that being there and it being coded in the game would indicate to me that we do get the trance sword, what do we call it, the Shadow Crystal sword, down the line. But either we fight a different secret boss for it, or there's going to be some, like, really strange meta, like, Doki Doki Literature Club, like, you literally hack in the Shadow Crystal as part of the story, to continue the route. The CRT filter, oh god, there's a lot to work with here. And weirdly enough, like, I think, yeah, story implications as well. Is the knight just going to open Flower King Dark World? So, yeah, because Kris isn't doing that shit. They're off drowning in the lake. Widow just skips chapter 6 as well. That makes me wonder what the hell chapter 6 is, because I was thinking, my theory beforehand, first of all, for some reason, I had this theory like ages ago. It was actually why I like really got into reading some stuff. So if you've seen my most recent theory, Squid Games theory, I referenced this book over here by Robert Sapolsky, big read. And the actual story behind my channel, right, was I was either going to do Markiplier theory or a theory that was basically not too dissimilar to what I ended up doing with Squid Game theory. And the final conclusion, because the theory, like, I'm analysis first, theory second. It would just be some kind of jokey thing that, like, we fight Rouse in chapter 6. But I don't know if we will. I don't think we will. But what we do know, or not what we do know, we know that chapter 6 is going to be easy to make. My thought is a lot of assets are going to be reused for chapter 6. So chapter 6 would potentially, like, revisiting some sort of, like, area we've already been to. Maybe it's just a castle town chapter. Who knows? I can't even guess. I mean, you saw my reaction. I was, like, flabbergasted at some of this shit. Side B, does it skip half to chapter 7? Or is it just a whole new chapter 7 too? Maybe like, it's just gonna be its entirely own thing. Like, it's very interesting. Chapter 7 is very much shrouded in darkness, right? Like, Gerson talks about chapter 5. He briefly mentions chapter 6. Does not mention chapter 7. We've not heard anything about chapter 7. Maybe the gimmick isn't taxing to work on, like I see him as side-scroller gimmick for chapter 5. That too. My thought is either there's no gimmick or reuse assets, but, like, truthfully, that just seems weird to say, no? Like, you're trying to advertise the game, why are you gonna say, like, I don't know. Like, this gimmick definitely took the longest to work on. Like, after seeing chapter 5, I can understand why chapter 3 and 4 took so long to come out, because initially chapter 5 was going to be part of it, but it's very much its own thing. I'm gonna stop when I'm in the water. I think that'd be more interesting. Got our clothes a little wet. Yeah, maybe the gimmick is easier, but at the same time, I also think, like, dude, chapter 5 just, in every facet of gameplay and design, it really felt like a step up from chapter 3 and 4, which are obviously huge step ups from chapter 1 and 2. I've always said chapter 1 is my favorite chapter. Now, honestly, this is like crazy recency bias. I really like chapter 5. I think its gameplay is the most fun. It has my favorite soundtrack so far. I'm gonna put through like a second channel, and I'm just gonna have a video that's like my reactions to some of the music. Because when I got to the chapter 5 Eggman room, I just stayed there for like 5 minutes just listening to that song. Actually, we do abort it. We route Jungle Free, make them drown without proceeding more. Yeah. I was wondering because I thought I was still in the route. I thought it just cut to the Dark World route and maybe there'd be something at the end. Because the chapter ends with like a shot of Noelle's room in the Dark World, right? I think it's probably another reason why chapter 6 can't be or chapter 6 isn't part of the weird route, right? Because chapter 6, presumably Noelle will be in the Dark World. Like if we're building a house for her in Castletown, surely she's like a party member or has some important role there. But I mean, look at Noelle over here. And we're learning so much about her character here because yes, she's gone mad on the weird route, but these are lingering feelings she's had her whole life, ever since, you know, Des has been gone and whatever, just even before that, potentially. And it's so meta-narratively interesting to have a character who loves these video game glitches, loves breaking free of control, and you can view that as like, oh, you know, we're all into Deltarune. We all love breaking secrets. Oh, finding secrets. We all love, like, you know, our theory videos, our analyses, our comics, our fan art. We love fandom. We're like Noelle, right, at heart. But now, if you want to read into this even further, right, why does Noelle love breaking games? It's because she likes the idea of breaking free of a narrative, of breaking free of this imposed control in her that's faced her at every point in her life. She grows up with this overbearing mother who forces her into these extracurriculars, forces these things. So she finds this refuge in games, but finds that isn't enough. So what does she do? She tries breaking those games. She tries breaking free of the control imposed on her in her own hobbies and interests that she got to pick in the very few areas she had, and that isn't enough still. So it's not like she suddenly changed in the weird route. These are just lingering feelings, and this just gave her the opportunity to, I don't know if develops right, but you get what I'm saying. Like, explore a different part of herself that may or may not be a good decision, we'll say. No. You're supposed to say proceed, right? Just like all the other times. Stop pretending. I know you remember too. It's colder than I thought. She forces you into the weird route? Whoa! The weird route just gave her the courage, albeit a toxic way to do. Yeah, it's more like you know, encouraging a friend to do drugs. Like, it's peer pressure, right? Like they all. It sounds bad to say, but it's like everyone has the capability of becoming that person, right? And we all have like a different amount of like seeds to sow into that. But this is just giving her free reins to do it, right? This is so funny. We rip Noelle of her autonomy in the weird route, and now she rips ours. That's so cool. I love this, dude. Wow, this is fascinating. I can't lie. You could kind of say I was a little like, just a smidgen disappointed by the weird route. As cool as it was, I was like, wow, there's like not much to it, but there's a lot if you want to go looking for it. Wow, this is fascinating. Wow, so the only way to stop it is to literally say nothing. I did like the one, I might be the first person to actually abort the route. Okay, I wonder what happens if we stop when it's like, it goes to like white. So do it once. Okay, now if I stop. Oh shit! Wait, I just had a realization. Hold on. Wait. Let the thing settle down. I think I'm starting to understand the logic a little bit, right? The reason why that happened, okay, that's kind of obvious, but that's Kris going unconscious, right? That's Kris going unconscious. The only way player control gets stopped there is if Kris literally like temporarily dies, right? Why it cuts to the other route, I don't know what happens. But that's why the route gets aborted like that. Like Kris literally isn't even capable of processing that there is like a choice or player control, I guess. Wow, there's God, I need to like sit and think on this. I have like I thought I didn't have any thoughts on this, and now I'm just like, whoa. Um, and the funniest thing is like, I feel like all my analyses and theories, fortunately, have still like held up all right. Maybe they went beyond a boundary. What do you mean by that? Explain a bit more, because I wanna make sure I understand what you're saying. Um, yeah, I think a lot of the things have held up. I'm not interested in like revisiting theories or analysis at the same time, because it just feels lazy. I can't lie. If it really held up as good as I think it did, then they don't need addendums. I will say, with Markiplier theory, that was like my first time writing a theory, and I could have definitely shortened a lot of it, but there was one piece of evidence I got where it's like, holy shit, I wish like I could add like this one part to it, and it was Toby Fox talking about how sad he is that people don't really play games anymore. There's like 20%. He himself said this number. He said like there's like maybe like 10 to 20% of Undertale fans who've never played the game. They just like watched a playthrough. And part of me gets sad that we will live in a future where people don't play games anymore. Um, and I think that really, in a very Watsonian way, no, not Watsonian, Doyless way, ties to like some of the ideas I was talking about, but not very clear. All right, let me see. Either beyond the lake to another kind of world, the screen saying insert chapter 7 looks different to anything we've seen before, warped like a CRT. This sounds crazy, but I was actually worried. So on OBS, I cropped out my game like 4:3. I have a little like bingo board, and one of the things I wrote down, I didn't actually end up like making it, but I just wrote them down just in case it's something anything interesting. Most of them didn't come true, dude. I wrote stuff like, there'd be an Asgore fight. I wrote that there'd be Darkworld Sands. I wrote that would get potentially like a Burly resurrection or rouse his identity. There's some stuff that I did get right, but one of the things I wrote was that there'd be an intentional game crash, and there wasn't, but there was something damn near close to it. Um, Either beyond the lake to another kind of world. The screen saying, "Yeah, so like we're no longer in control of Kris. No longer in control of Kris. Like we're no longer in Deltarune. Whatever, wherever Onion might have went." That is interesting to think about too, like narratively. Like the onion sound is in that lake, and that lake represents the fictional bounds of not just the light world but of Deltarune. Like we're no longer in the game; it just boosts us back. I just think the consciousness thing is so interesting. Like the only way the route gets aborted there is if Kris literally goes unconscious. They literally drown, and I don't even know if that like means they died or they just went unconscious. I don't know what happened. Like we wake up, and like none of the events happen. Like this is a completely different setting. We don't have the bread in our inventory anymore. This conversation with Noelle and Susie indicates to me that it was like either the entire events of the weird route were a dream, which doesn't make sense. I don't think that's something Toby Fox would write. Or there's like some weird fucky time dimension save file stuff. Have you seen the theory that the Gasifol is selling at the festival is selling pieces of onion? No, I haven't. I have avoided Twitter, I've avoided YouTube. All I've been doing is just playing like Deltarune. I think the only Deltarune stuff I've been reading is like my YouTube comments on my videos, and they're all in Russian because I'm just making sure I got my information right for that most recent video I did. I think it's interesting how Beyond the Lake, as you progress, just looks completely off, like you're completely going off the rails, since that part of the game doesn't really exist. Yeah, that is true. Hey, it's not even coded into the game. And the board is going red. You know, it's kind of similar to that part in chapter 4 with Susie where the dialogue, or the whole screen goes red. Like, it looks pinkish, but it's obviously meant to be red. It's just opaque. WhatsApp onion, perhaps. Let me look this up. Gaster follower selling onion chapter 5. Wow, it's so cool. I can actually like Google stuff about the game now. What happened to Onion and the Lake song? Jesus Christ, this is okay. I don't want to share my screen though, low key. Let me read this. Okay, I think they wrote. Okay, I'm just gonna read off a fuck it, I'll share my screen. I'll figure out a way to do it properly. Let's go on Microsoft Edge. Am I like logged into something? Okay. I literally can't go on Reddit in incognito. Okay, well I'll just read it out. Okay. So I just found this on Reddit. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'll post it in my chat. So if anybody is there, they can read along. I'm reading this Reddit post over here. Okay. And let's... Okay, actually we got some cool background noise. Let me play... Let me play a little song. Let's get some thinking music going. Sans. Browse. Where'd I keep it? Stream elements, music. Ooh, that might be loud. Sorry about that. There we go. Get some music. And let me just make sure it is looping. Awesome. Alright. What happened to Onion Sands and the Depths? Back in Chapter 2, if we approach Onion Sand after speaking to them in Chapter 1, they will share to us a secret, that being they hear a song from the lake, and later that this song is also the one they heard from the sea. Onion Sand decides to go investigate the song and promises they'll see us again tomorrow. The main fandom hypothesis is that this song is related to death in some way. It's so funny. Like, I think all the theories, you know, we're talking about death, talking about the night, and it went in two directions, right? If we play through the pacifist route, I think people were thinking way too far ahead and way too specific with deaths, right? They're so focused on the deaths and the knight's identity. These aren't things. Actually, one of the things I wrote on my bingo board is that the knight's identity will not be revealed. I don't think they were going to be revealed yet, and they weren't. So that was one of the things I got right. But my bingo board is terrible. One of the things I wrote was Azrael is chopped. I implied that Azrael would be revealed and he will be ugly. So, I mean, that didn't happen yet. We're waiting for the chopped revealed. Yes. Okay. So so yeah, what I was gonna say. Mine's just going everywhere. This is so interesting. I'm so happy. Like, it feels like a weight's being lifted off my shoulder, but it's not really a weight. It's more just like I can now engage with other people's discussion in this game. And truthfully, I didn't really feel. How do I say it? Like, I've given so many of my thoughts on this game already. I'm not even only given my thoughts on the game. I've given essentially the lens through which I understand this game through. Like, I feel like if you watch my videos, you can probably just understand like how I think and how I would like perceive the game anyway. But I don't know, when I play through that weird route and I'm just seeing like Noelle's parallels to Kris, I'm just like, oh my god, there's so many interesting things here. And I'll see what the general discourse is. If I feel like people are talking about Noelle wrong or something, I'd love to talk about it, because there's so many interesting things there. Like, I gave a little preamble at the start of the stream about how some of the allegories that the weird route alludes to, people actually don't give enough detail to. Like, it was actually a really done well allegory, and some people just go like, oh yeah, it's bad, whatever. Thoughts and spoilers and specific lines of dialogue you might not have read. I don't know, and honestly at this point I'm fine with spoilers. So you can like, if there's like a link so you don't have to like send in the chat, feel free to send it. I'm down to like react or watch to anything now. I'm cool with it. You know, I feel like I've explored the game. I've sat and thought about it. I've done the weird route. I got all the pink coins, did the secret boss. Like, I think everything else is like tertiary. I wouldn't go back to the game just to try find secrets myself. But yeah, if the general fan discourse, I feel like if they're not understanding Des or Kris write, and there's something I could add to my other videos, then maybe I'd do that. But I don't think there will be, because I think a lot of my analysis and theories, like, they still, like, the theories haven't been proven or disproven, and I've still, like, they're still falsifiable. It's not something like so esoteric and vague that I don't know, like, you can't disprove it. It's just it's something that would only be shown maybe later. And the analysis still all, like, is fine. I mean, there's, like, new lines of dialogue we can add and look through it. I think Mad Mew Mew's character throws a wrench in some of the stuff I talked about with secret bosses. Like, just being very clear representations of, like, determination and free will. But I'll be honest, I don't know much about Mad Mew Mew. I never really, like... I played Undertale back in 2015 on my PC, so I didn't even know that they were a character. And then... Furthermore, I didn't even realize she was the shopkeeper in Chapter 5 until I beat her and went back. So, I want to go and read through her character, because I think she's very funny. I liked her fight. I had an issue with some of the UI design. I felt like I couldn't really, like, read where the soul was at sometimes, and the pink heart sometimes blended in with the purple for me. It was fun. Alright, let me continue reading this. Okay, in the weird route, the second time you interact with the empty stand, Susie says the vendor was not there during the festival. I don't know if there's a link for that. The second time you interact with the empty stand, Susie says the vendor was not there during the festival. Okay, interesting. Okay, something I will say though, and I might have mentioned this briefly earlier, but there was oh yeah, this actually ties in well. I keep having all these points bouncing in my head, and I didn't finish the initial sentence. So I think people were thinking too narrow, or people thinking too, like, people just think too narrow in general, right? And I feel like we try to box in Toby Fox, but this guy, there's a reason he's the game developer and we're playing the game, right? Like, this guy is obviously very great writer, and I mean, people view it as subverting expectations, but no, it's just the way he writes. Like, I think the way he writes is just naturally going to subvert expectations, because he's just a good writer. Like, otherwise we'd be able to write his stories for him, right? But I think people were thinking a little, like, too far ahead in the normal route. They were like, oh yeah, the disappearance, Ascor's cases, you know, Carol's the villain, working with the night, blah 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 blah. We got none of that. We just got, like, you know, not standard necessarily, but like just like a narrative exploration of Ralsei and just like another fun dark world, right? And then the weird route, I don't think most people thought the weird route would get this weird or meta. And I'm the guy who made, like, here's what the weird route's meta narrative will be. And I did not, I could not picture the weird route going into this kind of realm where it's like, the only way to abort the weird route is, like, literally die. That's fucking mad, dude. The gas and not being there during the festival, I don't know what that would mean. I still think there's more to the weird route, because it doesn't really feel like player choice up until that moment. When we keep pressing proceed when Kris is dying, that really does feel like you're exerting the player's will. And that bit there reminds me of, if you're very, very into, like, all the Toby Fox 100 facts and secrets or whatever, Toby Fox's game before Undertale, so he released 2 games before Undertale. The second game's not as well known, and I was initially going to make a video on that, but I just didn't like my thesis, and also I want to be very careful how I talk about the game, because it's a very, very strange and very edgy game. Like, it has not aged well at all. It was edgy at the time, and it's edgy now, and it's kind of weird to talk about. Like, I have to talk about it being edgy, but at the same time, I don't want to, like, incite, like, weird, like, some sort of, like, weird discourse around the game, because no one else has talked about the game, and that is pp.exe. It's a joke game, and even though it's a joke game, it tries to be serious at some moments, and it's, I mentioned it in my Squid Game video, but at some point, the player character realizes they're a player character. There's a villain who's like, you're the player character, you're lucky you're not a puppet like the rest of us. Like, you at least, like, have more, like, on-screen appearance than the rest of us. Hello. But then the game before that, the Earthbound Halloween hack, which I think more people know, you know, Megalovania came from that. The game is, like a solid half of the game. You get that through a similar way you unlock the weird route. Yeah, I just finished the weird route. I'm just, like, talking about it now. I'm reeling in because God, it's so fascinating. It's definitely not where I expected it going. I don't think anyone expected it going there. I thought it'd be longer, but at the same time, there's like just so much going on there. But I don't think I can send links in chat. Just like abbreviate it. Like instead of saying like a dot, just like write brackets and write dot there instead. So it's not like .com. Does that make sense? I don't know how else you can send it to me. Maybe over like Twitter or something. I don't know. Just you can keep it in the chat. So I think other people will probably want to see it as well. And there's like a record of it. I don't know if I can stop it. I just disable, like, how do I say it? I put the chat restrictions pretty tough for live streams because I can't always like moderate my own streams. It's gonna make it like moderate a YouTube like comment section, which I also don't moderate, but still. Point being, Earthbound Halloween hack. That game goes under a lot of names, right? Like a lot of Toby Fox's ROM hacks, they would just be named after the competition they were submitted for, right? So the Earthbound Halloween hack, the reason it's called a Halloween hack, it was submitted for the Starman.net, which is Earthbound Forum's Halloween competition. So for each like holiday, they'll have like a competition. People get to submit like art or games, whatever. Toby Fox was on that site under the name Radiation. He was submitting hacks for the game. In the Earthbound Halloween hack, you only get to finish the game true. Like there's a normal ending, but to get the true ending, you have to press the B button during a dialogue option. So imagine in Deltarune, if you got like two options, like you get like a yes or no option. If you press the B button, so if you press like X on your keyboard, completely unstandard option for dialogue options, because usually there's only like a confirm button. There's no like X out of a dialogue option. There's like a weird coding glitch where you can break the bounds of the dialogue box and you continue playing the game. There's like another 2/3 of the game that you only play through literally breaking that dialogue box, right? Through using a glitch in the game. And that just, it harkens to the weird route right now, but in like a very abstract, weird way. Like you keep pressing proceed when there's no dialogue box that's visible. Even putting a dot blocks it. I was trying to send a chapter 5 weird route, boys saying there's a couple different block wall. Okay, awesome. I'm just gonna look that up then. Let's look it up. Chapter 5, Deltarune, weird route, aborted scenes. Can you just maybe write the title of the video in the chat? That way I can just like get the one that you're talking about. I don't know how I can change the chat restrictions. I don't know if it update is the problem. What comes to hashtags and URLs for reviews? Yeah, I don't think I have anything that stops people sending URLs. It might just be something with the YouTube stream. Wow, okay. Proceed ending. Stop / try ending. Deltarune chapter 5 of what are we writing? Yeah, thank you for that, Jim. Let's look this up. iPod 2. Okay, awesome. I have this right now. Trying to ask Noelle to stop his use at this point. We have to wait. Oh, I like the editing. Speed things up. Yeah, so this is what happened to me with nothing changed. I just didn't continue playing the game. That was the difference. Okay. Weird route. From now on, Kris gains a unique title in the power menu. Shattered Rose. Only one knows the rose's... Only one knows the rose's meaning. Shattered Rose. Oh shit! Wait! Toby Fox came to me. He said all your theories are true. Why is this carrying over from a failed weird route if we're going to like another dimensional reality? Also, what happens to... Oh, I guess we don't get to see Burley. We don't go to the light... Well, we don't see Burley afterwards. The other chapter 5, do we? Okay. Nor do we see Rudy. Rousey's introduction in the Dark World is slightly different, showcasing a fixation on Kris's well-being. Kris, you're okay. Hey, why were you in there? Oh, that stupid Flowery put me in there. But Kris, I'm just happy you're okay. Hope we can have a great day today. So Rousey might know. Rousey either knows or Rousey's picking up on something in Kris. I think Kris knows. I think Kris knows we aborted the route. I think they retain that knowledge somehow. I said Occam's razor before, but I mean... Actually, that honestly is the most simple explanation, right? Like, why does the menu change? Kris can control menus. Like, they can... It seems like they're just choosing to not read the text. Or they just don't have any energy or something, and I don't know, it takes some energy to read the text, but the bread's different for some reason. What the fuck is up with the bread? I don't know what the bread's deal is. Is there something about how the Forgotten Man... Is the Forgotten Man Sans or something? Like, we mill the wheat or something to go visit the Forgotten Man? I don't know, dude. I'm so lost. Is the okay, hold on. The game theory, map pat mode, is Sans Undertale the Forgotten Man, and then Sans Deltarune just Sans Deltarune. There's like 2 Sanses. This is to go further beyond. Okay. Alright, and now I'm looking at, I'm at 7 minutes 14 seconds in the YouTube video. Kris, did you ever like anybody? Okay, guess not. Meh, not like you got much choice in this town. Though, like, if I can be, weird here for a second. That's funny, it already references the weird route. Okay, no wonder this changes. I kind of thought you and Noelle were a thing, and I know that's not true, right? I mean, she likes me. So why does she have to talk to you alone? Why can't either of you tell me what it's about? Why was she excited and you were... That's not all, right? Why was your hair all wet? Why did both of you seem so far away after? What the fuck? Okay. Whoa. Okay, so... That scene does happen in the aborted route. What the fuck is going on? So, in the weird route, when you abort it, Kris loses consciousness. Someone saves him. But it did happen. What? Okay, now I have even more questions. Okay, I'm even more lost now. Where's Cammy Boy G? Where's Spooky G? Where's Andrew Cunningham? Can you give me the synopsis? Give me the rundown. Kris, can you just tell me if I've been getting in the way of something? Susie never gets in the way. Don't get in between me and Noelle. What the fuck is that? Forgot who I was talking to. It's just good whatever's up with you two. It's over now, right? Glad to have you back, Kris. Kris, I know this is stupid, but can you... Okay, let's see with the no option. Oh, they drowned themselves. Don't. Okay, I get it. I was worrying too much. It's probably just family stuff or something. Just good whatever's up with you two. It's over now, alright? Wow. Okay, upon failing the weird route, the game sets a before unused flag 1743 to 1. Flag 1743 is basically the unofficial controller for this version of the route, and all the changes seen in this video are a result of it. So this is literally everything we've already seen. Damn, these data miners get to the game fast, dude. The events seen in this video are the only times this flag is ever referenced via code. The game does write a side B complete key to its .ini file during a regular process of the weird route, however it's not read anywhere. Okay, what that means is now that I've done the weird route, I might have permanently cooked my game. I mean, I can just go and change the file. I might do that. But that to me indicates that there's a chance if you do the normal route in future chapters, if you went to the side B in the weird route, something could change. Because the flag's there. Wow, okay, let me... I'll check it later, whatever. I'll future me will deal with that when chapter 6 comes out. Your choices don't matter. The choice is mattering. 3 save files ain't cutting it anymore. There's a route in between. There's a route in between. Yeah, wait, true. How do you write... I guess chapter 6 is gonna have to account for like a failed weird route. Because this isn't the weird route anymore. Because okay, now there's the weird route and there's the side B route. We're in the side B route. The weird route leads to the side B route. Oh Jesus. Okay. And the events of the weird route still happened. Why are we out of the water? Why are we out of the? Why is everything happening as normal? What? There's something really weird and meta going on here. Okay. It just cuts to this. But it still happened. Also, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, why is Noelle still kind of like normal and bashful with Susie on the failed weird route? Because you know her character's kind of... Oh... I don't know what's going on, man. Okay, whatever. That's so interesting. Okay, it's time to look it up. Deltarune... Why can't I type? Okay. Deltarune Chapter 5 Secrets. Let me see if I missed anything. And you know what? Let's go see what you were talking about earlier. About the gas to follower. In the weird route, the second time you interact with the empty stand, Susie says the vendor gas follower was not there during the festival. I don't know if there's a link for that. Let's be the link. Let us go do that ourselves right now while I'm here. Okay. Where's my game? Okay. Also, interesting to note, you do the weird route. It's confirmed, but you still have an empty save file there, you know? This is so peculiar. Okay, let's go to the gas vendor. Okay, I gotta remember which one was the gas vendor though. I gotta go watch my own VOD. Hold on. It's not that one, not that one. What the hell is it? Here we go. Where it adds a new variable in the .ini file. Yeah, that's what's worrying, because what that also entails is the weird route could now affect our normal route save. Unless you go edit the files. I'm gonna do it. I'm too scared. Okay, let's go see this gas vendor. Where is it? It's not those ones. Actually, I'll just go look up the vendor. Chapter 5 vendors Deltarune. I don't know which one was the... Like, weirdly enough, I actually, like, as much as I am into, like, the theory crafting stuff, I don't really, like, follow, or, like, I'm that invested, quite frankly, in, a lot of, like, the Gaster or Des or a lot of the ARG stuff. I know, that sounds very strange. I just like the meta-narrative stuff. And the meta narrative stuff, I guess, does entail that. So I do have to like know parts of it. I have no problem with like people like interested in that stuff. It's just for me, I just like I'm like whatever. I just view it as like a mystery. It's like unsolvable. not that everything needs to be solved, but to me, it's just like I don't know. I just wanted the meta narrative stuff. Okay, some people theorize that once you complete the chapter 5 reroute, all saves will lead to the side B of chapter 7. Perhaps, yeah. If the files change, it's change for a reason. Unless because otherwise you could just no, okay, I think there's two sides to it. So for one, yes, you could change. Yeah, Toby Fox could make it so the normal route gets affected by the other chapters. But the other thing is the way the game's code works, from what I understand, and I could be wrong here, is the game has these flags and they turn on or off depending on, or they don't turn off, but they turn on if you perform a certain action, right? So when you go in the weird route, certain flags get activated. The thing is, because those flags are specific to the save file, they don't work when you... Yeah, I finished it, just finished the weird route, just like talking about it, like doing some extra stuff. I didn't expect to talk about it for an extra 50 minutes, because it's shorter than I thought, but there's a lot to the scene already. I think it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. But, yeah, you need to create that .ini file, or you need to change that variable, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to basically have the weird route in other chapters. You wouldn't be able to continue it otherwise, right? Because how are you going to change a flag if there's no save file, right? Like, you change the flag, but you're not revisiting the save file that has that flag changed. I don't think you could change, like, the flag globally. That would be, like, something entirely different. I'm trying to see which stall was the vendor... or the gas to follow vendor, because I didn't even know which ones are, like, the gas to vendors, besides, like, the monster kid. Oh, I guess it's the guy at the library. That guy's a follower, right? Okay, the cool thing about YouTube is if you do want to see like my reaction or anything, I think you can just go back in the VOD if it's live. But I will be publishing it. I don't cut anything out of my streams. I just leave the VODs up there. I gotta title this as like discussion, because I like a solid hour of this has just been more than an hour, just been me talking about this damn thing. Like this is so interesting. And I feel okay. I feel a little validated because I feel like people weren't talking enough about like the weird meta fuckery and the weird route. They're just like, oh yeah, you break the game, like player control is bad. Like, no, there's gotta be something more. Like, there's no way you go from writing this crazy game breaking thing like Undertale that's like so polished and refined and nuanced and just go into player control is bad, weird route's gonna be more messed up and evil, whatever. Like, nah, this weird route, you only get to abort it now if Kris basically dies. If Kris drowns, they lose consciousness, then yeah, then you can stop the weird route. And then there's this whole thing of Noelle saying she feels like she's being looked through glass. Like, that's no doubt how Kris feels, no? Like, Kris knows they're in a game to some extent. Well, I mean, that's what I theorize. I theorize that Kris knows they're in a game. Like, they know that they're being controlled by the player. I don't know if they know they're in a game, if that makes sense. Where is this guy's vendor? I feel like I'm a little self-aggrandizing when I talk about my theories like that. There's other people. I think, maybe if you've seen Garrett UTDR's video, his stuff's pretty good. And he's talked about some of the meta-narrative fuckery that's going on too. From a very different angle too. And all the Krisociation guys on Tumblr. Radical Dreamers. I don't really use Tumblr, but I went down a rabbit hole and read a lot of their stuff, and they write amazingly in the game. I think the whole reading of like intrusive thoughts in the game is like very fascinating. I have some minor like rebuttals here and there, but they have thought about the game a lot more than I have. What the hell is this follower? Okay, well, just check all the stats then. And the one thing that Icy face looks like weird route Noelle's face. It does look a little crazy. Like, I was, in my head, I was a little worried. It sounds a bit weird. Not worried is the right word, but some of these sprites I can't take seriously, right? Like, they're a little, like, it's not like a bad graphic or anything. It's just, a bad sprite work. It's just like, it's so goofy. Like, Noelle with her buck teeth. I can't take that seriously. So just making her look as deranged as possible really worked. They got a reaction out of me. Let's see what the vendor is. These are the two bunnies, QC and friends. Just a cannon getting out of bounds. I think, yeah, now it is a cannon getting out of bounds. See, my only problem with things like this, and I'm sure Toby Fox is aware of this, is like when you write in-universe breaking the bounds of the game, you're still in the game, right? Like, it's the game allowing you to break the game. Like, yes, you can suspend your disbelief. Hello. You can suspend your disbelief and be like, oh yes, the weird route is breaking the game, you know, like we see the CRT and all, but like, you had to write and code that into the game. I know like Doki Doki Literature Club, like you have to like edit the files or whatever. I don't think Toby Fox is gonna like retread that ground. I think this is gonna be like actual narrative importance to breaking those boundaries. Like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the end message is like, yes, even though you've broken the boundaries, like I still control the route. Like, you're not actually breaking free, right? Like, that's gotta be like one of the end points. I don't know. I just assume like it's gonna somehow be a more mature message than Undertale. And Undertale, like the game breaks, but like it's within the confines of the game. Does that make sense? Also, the fact we go to Sands is so interesting that we get the bread. You're forced to get the bread on the weird route. Like, what does that mean? But the other thing is, you don't get the bread when the route gets aborted. What does that mean? Why do you not have the bread? Oh no, I've already played through the route. I should like, is there a way to pin a message in like I'm just talking about it now. Just finished the route. Actually, oh, why didn't I think of this? I literally am the streamer. I can just write this on my screen. Thank you for being respectful though. Like, that's really nice that you actually like get to check. I just finished the route. Talking about it now and losing my mind. Okay. Cool with spoilers, but be respectful of other chatters just in case. Smiley face. What do you think about the way around this chapter? I think it is very interesting. I think the coolest thing to me is it's like, I think people were thinking too narrowly with the weird route, that makes sense. Like, a lot of us were thinking like, oh, we're gonna see like Noelle break or whatever. Like, no, this is very meta. Like, we're gonna see like the bounds of the game break. Like, I feel like the running theme is, you know, the dark worlds are these like existentialist hellholes. Like, they're kind of like meaningless. They're below light worlds, but so are the light worlds. Like, the light worlds are kind of like meaningless in the grand scheme of things. Like, everything's a game, everything's finite, and I'm sure that's gonna be something that's explored by this game, which is also why I think, like, even though we break the bounds of the game in this route now, like, I'm sure there's going to be a point that Toby Fox wrote in the boundaries that we're breaking, right? Like, even if you're breaking free of control, you're never really breaking free of it. And like, Noelle's whole point in that scene is like, okay, the only way I break free of the route is with you. Like, Kris, you have some sort of higher power that allows me to break free. But end of the day, that's just a line of dialogue, right? Like, you're still bound by the game. Like, I'm sure Toby Fox knows that. And the lake, yeah, like, I don't even know what to think about the lake. I mean, so many other people have talked about the importance of like water and like what that symbolizes for the game. Andrew Cunningham's video, Vivat Veritas, great channel, talked a lot about that. Where there's a completion file for chapter 5 where that has B at the end, and an autosave for the latest completion file. Did you check the info of the bread? Yeah, I mean, I have it right here. Oh, well, no, I don't, actually. Let's go get the bread. I'm just replaying it just to, like, see some of the extra dialogue. I think the most interesting thing, Noelle joins the lake is confirmed. Bro, they need someone to play defense. She's got some height to her. can't be running AR 45-year-old LeBron and Luka without giving 12 billion points up. And then we have to suspend a disbelief that the characters of DTR. No. I don't think that. I disagree. As much as like part of a narrative is suspending your disbelief, like I think Toby Fox, like, he's an artist. He's been working and doing meta stories his whole life. Like, even before Undertale, like, Earthbound Halloween Hack, pp.exe, or the Halloween Fun Hack. He knows that there's boundaries to stories. Like, even if you're breaking them in-game, you're not actually breaking... Like, you're breaking still predefined boundaries, right? And I mean, that becomes this analog. Like, that's like the light world versus dark world. Like, the light world is still finite, but it's not as finite as the dark world. It becomes like some very weird fuckery. I think I've talked about a lot of these ideas in my videos, namely the Squid Game video, I guess Markiplier theory, but Markiplier theory, I think it's a bit, like, you could tell I was developing the idea as I was writing the script. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he writes in something like the characters realizing they don't have free will within the game. But I mean, that makes sense within the context of the game, right? Like, that's like literally Rouse's character. Like, he's like, I don't have free will because it's a prophecy that defines what I will do. And then I really feel like Kris feels the same way. They're like, shit, I don't have control either. You know, I'm stuck in a game, right? I don't comprehend, but agree. Okay, let me see if I can explain. I want to, like, I don't think the idea is, not the idea is I'm using a lot of, like, weird, like, language, and it's like a very fucky idea. Basically, we break the game on the weird route, right? But we're breaking the game, and Toby Fox wrote in that we break the game, right? Like, consider, like, no clipping in a game, or, like, cheating a game, like, and, like, wave dashing in Melee. Like, there you are breaking the game. Like, the game didn't intend for that to be an option. Here, the weird route was still intended by developer, right? Like, you can write in an ARG or whatever, but at the end of the day, we still know that Toby Fox wrote in the weird route. But I think that's actually going to be important to the narrative, if that makes sense. I do comprehend, but thanks. Okay, yeah, no worries. No, but I think even for me, I need to be able to explain this idea so it's not as, like, esoteric. I think that was, like, my one issue with my Markiplier theory video. Like, I still like that potential reading of the narrative, because to me, that's the only narrative, that's the only, like, meta narrative. That's the only, like, reading I can pull from, like, what the meta narrative could be right now. Like, if Undertale's about completionism, I think that's, like, Deltarune could be about kind of like backseating, but just, like, controlling other people's perception of their own narrative. That's my only, like, potential read, because I don't think a narrative on completionism makes sense for Deltarune. But I didn't, like, condense it in a way that I think people would, like, intuitively understand. Like, I still think it's fine, but yeah. Is this it? They got free lemon slices here. Okay. What's this one? I need to get the bread. That was it. Oh, shit. I skipped the text, but yeah, maybe just close early. This stand was kind of weird. There wasn't anyone at it today. Maybe just close early beats me. Okay. Yeah, so if you use the bread, it just says bread. A loaf of bread tends to leave crumbs wherever... Oh! I get it now. Okay, I mean, this is like a meta thing as well, right? Like, it leaves crumbs wherever it goes. Oh, shit. No. Not just Sans knows. Hold on. Here's the thing, right? That's like... I feel like it's like a hint that if you do the weird route, it's gonna mess up with your other saves, right? Leaves crumbs wherever it goes, right? I think the weird route's gonna leave crumbs wherever we go now, right? Especially with it changing our .ini file. Here's the interesting thing, though, right? If you fade out, I'll just redo it right now, right? Okay. First of all, none of these other items we can do anything with. Can't drop them, can't use them, nothing. If you use it works like normal. Susie won't let you eat it, right? Ice cream sandwiches won't let you eat it, right? Now, I'm just gonna use cheat engine just to speed up my game so we can go see the scene. So volume's gonna be a little strange, just go through it. So if we just go through this route. So I actually accidentally aborted this route. I didn't see the text box at the bottom. Like my vision's a little bad. I wear glasses on stream sometimes. That's not terrible. I can read this. But yeah. So keep in mind, we still have the bread in inventory. We didn't eat it. Susie said she wanted to make ice cream sandwiches with the bread. Okay. Okay. Oh, it still I didn't even notice it. It still makes a sound if you press stop. So the only way to cancel a route, like now Noelle takes player control. Now we're forced to proceed, right? But the only way to have the route cancel is to basically have Kris drown. Like a Majora's Mask creepypasta, you know? Have the screen fade to white. Kris can no longer even comprehend the world, you know? They're completely out. We can't make the choice because we're controlling Kris, right? But like, we've lost that control at that point. That's the only way we lose control. Side B battles, yeah, that's weird. Okay, so anyway, we have this scene. This just looks like a continuation of just a normal route. Like, it just cuts to the normal route, right? So, we drowned, yes, but this is just a normal route. Like, Noelle's still bashful. Like, the weird route, she becomes a lot more assertive. She's still, you know, herself, right? There are some slightly different dialogue you get if you activated the weird route and you play through this aborted route. But look at this, right? Okay, we have like a Titanic Jack and Rose moment. Look at that. No bread in our inventory. So Susie ate the ice cream. She didn't have the bread. Kris had the bread, right? So why did we lose the bread? Where is the bread gone from our inventory? There's exclusive dialogue in the Dark World in this route. Like it's like the events of chapter 1 and chapter 4 have still taken place, but we're just in the normal route now. But it's as if nothing happened in chapter 5. It's like as if we didn't have that drowning scene with Noelle, right? Because we don't have the bread. But in this aborted route, Susie will actually mention, why was your hair wet with Noelle earlier? So that means that the scene with Noelle still happened, but this scene with Susie and Noelle still happened. And we also don't have the bread that we got, which we would have only gotten if their hair got wet in chapter 5. Does that make sense? Like, there's so much going on. There's so much like weird fucky shit. I heard how someone called this weird route side A. That could be it. I mean, I think the intention is like side A is just like the original game. Like, it's just like the normal thing. And there only is one ending, right? Bread drowned, yeah. I guess the only explanation, the bread just drowned in the lake. But, I don't know, why does the bread go missing? The bread always leaves like crumbs, that's what they said, but I don't see any crumbs here. What if we threw away the soggy bread? Kris couldn't throw away the bread normally, right? They refused to throw away anything in chapter 5. That's the only explanation, but like Kris has never thrown out anything else before, right? They didn't throw out the thorn ring. They didn't even throw away the silver watch. They gave it back to Noelle. Why would they just suddenly decide to throw away the bread? Is bread like that traumatic for Kris? I don't know. Are they gluten free? Are they like was it like a celiac or something? I don't. What's the word? Celia. Gluten free Celia. Celiac. There we go. What if it fell? That's my only guess. Yeah. It fell, but keep in mind we have all the other items. We have the band-aid, we have the glass shard, we have the bowl of bullshit. It's the bread that fell out. The fact that the bread's text, the bread is the only item we can read, for some reason, and it specifically says it leaves a trail of crumbs everywhere we go, and that goes missing. I think that's hinting at something. I think the easiest read for me, like meta narratively, is this cancels. It doesn't cancel the weird route, but it cancels the side B route, right? Which is what we're gonna call the true evil weird route, right? Or the game breaking weird route. I think what this implies is that side B route, if you activate that trigger, that's gonna do something to all your save files for the rest of the game. That's gonna affect the story in every other chapter. But if you cancel it like this, you lose that breadcrumb, you lose that trail. So now you're back off of the weird route. And now I'm worried because I don't know if that means I'm locked out of like the normal ending or something. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe it resets when they drown because there's no mechanism for dying in the light well, so it's forced to just reset somehow. Yes, I think, I don't know, like, there's some weird time travel-y shit going on. I just saw online that the bread could be a reference to a boundary break glitch from Mother 1 that also involved breadcrumbs. Oh, if that is the case, if that's actually a thing in Mother 1, that's 100% a reference to that. I was saying, like, maybe there's, like, some weird, like, Christ-like Eucharist metaphor with this, I don't know. Definitely a Mother 1 reference if there's, like, some boundary break glitch with bread. Like, that seems like it's a reference Toby Fox to me. How they time travel with Kris' hair was still wet. Exactly. Like, that's why I'm so confused. Like, it looks like the weird route happened here, but it also didn't. Like, we have evidence to prove that it didn't happen because Kris's hair was wet. There's still things that happened, right? And at the same time, we don't have the bread. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we just got... I think we gotta start calling the side B route the bread route. Maybe instead of side B, we call it side bread. It's a side bread route. Because we get off the bread route if we die. I think that's what we gotta label it. I mean, it could have multiple meanings as well. Yeah, it definitely has multiple meanings. Like, I don't think it's... I'm very much like a Roland Barthes type of guy, but the fact that it is bread from Sans, I think that is a key reference to Mother 1, potentially. I need to look at Mother 1. I haven't played through any Earthbound game, actually. Like, I roughly know the games, I just haven't played it. Somehow. I will eventually. What if the other items have plot armor? Like, obviously, I know you're joking, but something I think about when it comes to these theory discussions is undoubtedly... Alright, so yeah, I think undoubtedly, like, Toby Fox is bound to run into some insights, right? Like, obviously he's thinking about the game constantly, and like the whole team is, and the QA and the checking and all, but like, there's gonna be some stuff that people read into that not necessarily weren't meant to be read into, but just they don't hold as much narrative significance as they will say. Like, you know, you can do like a 5-hour Nubert analysis, and I was dangerously close to doing that, but Nubert might not actually hold as much significance as someone who does a 5-hour analysis of Nubert might think they are, right? But the fact that every item can't be viewed, can't be thrown away, except for this one item that you're forced to get on the side bread route, by the way. Like, you literally can't go see Noelle until you get the bread. Like, Susie stops you. She says, let's go get the ice cream first. You get the bread, and that's the only item you can view. I think its existence... Not the fact that it's necessarily bread or whatever, but I think that the fact that it was given to you signifies something. And to me, it signifies that, like, that's like the indicator that there is that side B file on your computer now. Because once you've gotten that, you're like locked into something. If you don't have that, then you're not on the side B route. Maybe the abort is like hitting triggers in other games or out of order. So things both happen and don't at the same time. Yeah, like my only assumption, my only guess, my theories, like I think I still stand by most of my theories. Obviously the analyses I obviously stand by, like otherwise I don't think they're good analyses. But the theories like that Kris has played Deltarune before effectively, I think that could still hold true. Like Kris, I feel like they know they're in the game. for sure. Like, there's some weird stuff going on. But weirdly enough, maybe I wasn't broad enough with that. It seems like Noelle knows she's in the game. Saying she feels like she's being peered through glass? Like, that's definitely like a reference to like feeling, not even being watched by the player, but just feeling like she's in a game that's meant to be observed, right? Maybe the abort is like hitting triggers in other games at home. Yeah. I don't know, it's weird, but I definitely think that my file has, something has changed permanently, and I should have made a backup of my game. So I don't have that change. We will see. We will see when Chapter 6 comes out. I'm hoping I can still like play normally. Like, obviously Toby Fox accounts for this. Like, he knows that, you know, there's a long wait between chapters. People are going to do the weird route. People are going to have multiple save files. There's a reason there is multiple save files. It's so we can do the secret process, so we can do the extra stuff in the game. Otherwise, you just keep the one save file, no? So I don't think he's gonna like spite the player. I don't think the weird route's going to like be like the player is horrible for doing this. I think it's really interesting that Noelle takes player control from you. And the only way to stop that is to basically have Noelle, who forcibly drags Kris into the water, by the way, basically drown Kris. I think it's really interesting. I saw the backup from when I completed Chapter 4 on my PC. I don't know why I did it. Wait. I actually have that too. You're right, I do actually have a save from chapter 4, because I was trying to get footage. Deltarune backup data. Yes, okay, I have Chapter 4 save files as well. I mean, I think it'd be easy to just like edit out the flag though. I don't think editing the flags too hard. I don't know if it messes up the rest of your game, but whatever. Very interesting. My voice is starting to get a little coarse. I did stream earlier today. Dude, I love Deltarune, man. It's so weird. I have so many like weird ebbs and flows with this game. It's like, no, I hate it. Just sometimes I feel like I can't talk about this game. I'm like, you know, I played through Chapter 5. I'm like, hey, it's a good chapter, but it's like I don't think I have anything new to say. I don't think I have anything like interesting to say, or, you know, it's a good chapter. I could maybe like write a review about the game. But then here I am now, having played the weird route. The whole thing took maybe 10-20 minutes. I've been here for 2 hours just because, you know, there's a very lively community. People are going back and forth with me. And, God, it's just so interesting. Like, you just want to, like, understand what is being said. It's so, like, cryptic, but at the same time, it's not like, and this is full hate to Scott Cawthon. But it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I've created a story, you guys go solve it now. It's more just like, there is a story being told. There's very clearly a narrative here, and we just haven't pieced the puzzles yet together. We haven't fully understood it. But right now, what does this game make you feel, and like, what is it saying to us, you know? What if the bread went to Deep Nest? I don't know what the hell Deep Nest is. Sans is Deep Nest? Yeah, I'll stay around for maybe another couple more minutes. Actually, let me go see the save file. Let me go see the flag. I roughly know where the things are kept. This area in Hollow Knight. Oh, okay. I haven't finished Hollow Knight. I got the game on like launch, but never played through. There's a lot of games. I'm like a fake gamer, low-key. I have a Switch. I played like 10 hours in Mario Odyssey. I didn't even finish that. I didn't even play Breath of the Wild. And I have all these games too. I just end up playing Slay the Spire and like League. I play games. Where are Deltarune files saved? Okay, users. App data. Local Deltarune. Okay, you can change it pretty easily. I'll put a screenshot. What does love 1 mean? What? Hold on. I don't know what that means. Okay, here we go. Let me save this. Show it. I wish I understood the code of Deltarune a bit better. Where's Heartbreak Cryos? Wouldn't need them. God, I love the community for the game. I know people hate Undertale fans, but I love them. Such a vibrant community. Chapter 5. Where'd I keep this? Okay, here we go. Okay. If you look at this, this is literally my file I just pulled up now. So you can see it shows all my save files. So right there, right at the top, side B, it's the first variable that shows. I don't know if it's the first because it's written from top to bottom. I don't know how it works, but it's just written in. So side B complete equals .10. Regarding the mother 1 illusion, the bread item can be used or rather used to set up a warp point that you can teleport back by using breadcrumbs. I have it right at the top, I just checked. For me it's... Huh. What? Side B is already completed, it's finished. No, it's just a flag. So what this means is... Now the game knows that you've done the side B route, right? Or you've started the trigger. So now what happens when a future chapter comes out, it can check for this and continue from that. It's basically like the flag in the game, but globally. What if the player is the bread? Hold on. Let me try to make this make sense. Player is the angel that is spoken in the prophecy. They are above the prophecy. Because they have control and they have power. The bread represents Eucharist. You are Christ. You're an angel-like figure. There we go. Boom. Player's the bread. I don't know. I think the bread is like a metaphor for the side B flag, if that makes sense. I think the side B flag is literally bread. I'm just gonna call this the side bread flag. I'm just calling side B side bread. That's gonna be how I dub it. You know, Weird Route was already a stupid name. Why don't we do side bread? I'm gonna make this a thing, alright? I'm gonna force this until it's unfunny. Well, complete implies it's done already, so maybe go into C later. Okay, I was gonna say I don't, like, I disagree. Why do all of them have side B flags? Or is it just one? Game 5-0. Side B 0. Hold on. Complete implies it's done already. Yeah, what I was gonna say is like I initially like in my head I was like, I feel like that's a stretch, but in second hand I'm like, honestly, with how much weird time fuckery there is, I actually maybe that is side B. Who knows? Game 3. Yeah, see now my other save files say side B. I don't like that. Oh, okay. Okay. Once again, I don't know how the code works. I'm thinking because I have side B at the top, what that indicates is like side B is now enabled on my other chapters because I have different save files. Some of my save files in I have one of my save files in chapter 4. One of them in chapter. I don't get how any of this works, frankly. Also, I feel it's weird that Sans all characters would give you something that enables a weird route such side B considering it's relevant. Exactly, yeah, like, it's 100% intentional. Also, the fact that you can read it. The fact that you can read the bread. God, isn't it gonna be so funny that, like, for the next year, until Chapter 6 comes out, every Deltarune theorist is just gonna be talking about bread the whole time. Okay, God. And we're gonna have to be taken completely seriously when we talk about bread. What does the bread mean? Oh, dude, I can't wait for the... Dude, we got Half-Bread Chaos as well. Literal namesake. They are the best person to create a video about this because it regards the code. And the name's literally Half-Bread Chaos, right? The bread is broken between space and time. It's a very chaotic, boundary breaking... Bro, did Half-Bread Chaos, like, create this route or something? Because I don't get how this works. I'm looking at it, right? So some of my save files, the side B value is set to 0. But the fact that there's a side B value at all concerns me. Because I get that set to 0, but why is it there? And why do I have, like what is this G3_5? Is that like a save file for chapter 3? Or is that... It's gotta be, right? Why do I have save files from chapter 3 that have side B enabled to 1? Oh shit, guys, do we play through... Okay, maybe we play through the other chapters again. In a future chapter, if that makes sense. Because I don't know why the side B value is... Okay, you can't see it on my screen, right? Actually, you kind of can. So, there's a side B at the value at the top that says complete, right? And I think that coincides with the creation of these side B values for all the other save files, right? And you see there for G_5_0. So, if my understanding is correct, that's like the first... That's either the first save file or it's the auto save file for chapter 5. And side B is set to 0 there. So my question is, like, why was that there in the first place? Like, why does it need to be set to 0? That scares me, because that still is a value, right? But then the second thing is, I have, like, files from chapter 4 that have side B set to 1. Why are previous chapters set to side B 1? Side B is just called a weird route internally. That makes sense, So we did actually cancel the weird route when Kris passes out there. Yeah, I really don't think Toby Fox is gonna write in like 3 different endings to a game he said he's only gonna have 1. Like, it takes so much extra time to program in and code a different route. Be right back. Okay. Just why are the other chapters side B? Why side... Some of my older chapters the side B set to 0 still, but... What does it mean? Side B value Deltarune. Yes, when you beat chapter 4, the side B value is stored in Deltarune.ini, set to whether you're currently on Snowgrave or not. This is stored per file slot. Erasing a file slot is supposed to erase the starter too, but since it's only stored in completion data, the code can't actually touch it. So erasing a file slot doesn't get rid of the side B flag. Nope. Another one of Tony's tricks. Guess my save files... Oh, saves are bricked, assuming this matters for an ending anyway. Flag doesn't matter at all, but if it ends up mattering, well, it's your own fault. What? Global file choice +3, side B. Okay, once again, I should not be talking about the code if I don't understand it, low-key. When you beat chapter 4, the side B value is stored in the other any set to whether you're currently still grave or not. Oh, okay, so the side B value is already there. Regardless of whether or not you beat chapter 4. Or not, regardless of if you do the Snowgrave route or not. And then it gets set to yes if you... okay, I get it. Okay, it's fine. So, the side B value is set for each save file. And the reason why, okay, side B is just weird route. Side B is just weird route. That's okay. That makes it a lot easier to understand. Like in the context of the code, side B just means weird route. That's why the save files I have from chapter 3 that have the side B set to 1, because it just encompasses weird route. Okay, that makes a lot more sense to me. So that means the weird route is saved to each individual save file. I don't know why there's the global side B value though. That to me indicates that there's something will happen, but I don't think it's going to be major then. If side B is saved to save slot individually. Once again, I don't know anything about the code. We just have to wait for the Heartbreak Chaos video. Where are they? Wow. What a game, man. Side B, global value. Favorite interpretation of from user vox underscore tenebrous underscore on Reddit. Favorite interpretation of this is that Gaster was so horrified by what we were doing that he immediately ejected the chapter 5 tape and skipped ahead to the end of the game. The evil roaring group chat watching the weird tape on their doorstep after Kris doesn't show up. But the thing is, right? Like, I was getting called a madman for partially blaming the weird route on Kris. Now we can low-key blame the weird route on Noelle. Like, Noelle literally forces the weird route onto you, unless Kris just drowns there, no? Obviously, I'm ignoring everything that happened before, so it's not really fair, but the weird route's not some, like, one person is bad story end. It's this complete wreck. Wow, I'm so curious. I'm not going to touch my save files until we get more information. Maybe after chapter 5 weird route, they both fell out of bounds, and this may have conveniences in different... Yeah, but, it doesn't look like there's any changes to other chapters yet. I mean, no one's tried. But weirdly enough... Once again, I don't know how it works, because this isn't like the flags, right? Like, I think if you delete your save file... I shouldn't speak in the code. I don't know if this... I don't think anything in the actual game has changed in the previous chapters yet. But to me, this does indicate that there is some sort of... There's got to be some reason this code applies to previous chapters, right? Unless it's just spaghetti coding by Toby Fox again. But once again, Toby Fox isn't the one writing a lot of the code anymore. Like, he just explains how it works to a team of developers and they code it for him. So, maybe there's going to be some weird thing where we revisit old chapters. Maybe there's like a world where we like replay through old chapters with Noelle, like in the weird route. Like, we actually like break the time boundaries in the game or something. I don't know. I can't wait to see like the fanfiction out of this. Like, there's so many like predictions you can make here, and none of them are grounded in reality. They can be like weird, you know? I always wondered why there was no Lightning merchandise. I mentioned that so many times because to me it's so strange. I feel like it clashes with so many like ideas and messages people try to infer from the game. Um, I'm so scared, bro. I'm so scared. And I'm excited. I'm really curious what you do with this. I wonder if this means chapter 6 doesn't have a weird route either. Like, we just have to wait until chapter 7's release, and then we get to see what happens. Let me look up if there's anything else I missed from chapter 5. All secrets and Easter eggs. I think I did basically like everything, dude. Okay, it's showing Mad Mimu. Yeah, I already pushed all the dudes off the thing. Rousey's room. I thought that was like a mandatory scene, I'm not gonna lie. Dude, I thought half these scenes were mandatory. Okay, I think I've done everything chapter 5 has to offer. Maybe there's like some, like, maybe a couple extra lines of dialogue I just missed out on, but I think I did everything. Alright, damn near 3 hours. If someone told me the weird route was like 5 minutes in this, I would have gotten very sad and also been like, how the hell do you end up making a 3-hour stream out of this? But thank you all for coming along. I think the weird route will be played between many saves in the future. Yes, yeah, I 100%, I don't know what will necessarily happen. Welcome back. I will be closing the stream in like maybe a couple minutes. I don't want to like run on too long. I feel like I've run out of juice, and you can hear my voice on decrowed is not a word, but waver. I think the weird route will have to be played between many saves in the future. Yeah, once again, I think there's gonna be some very weird meta stuff in the game. Like, I still believe that Kris has like played Deltarune before. They have some knowledge of the game that everyone else doesn't have. And now that we know that Susie can see the UI, first of all, Rousey could see it. We knew that, but that's like a big deal to Rousey. Like, the fact that he can see it is like throws him off, and he wanted to hide that from Susie for some reason. Like, why did Rousey want to hide the UI from Susie? That's another question we gotta ask. I think Kris knows that there's more than the UI. Like, if Kris knows that this UI, canonically now, they knew about that before. Yeah, there's something strange here. I don't know. Wow, dude, Deltarune is such a great game, man. I'm just happy now I gotta like actually engage in discussion, look online. Like, I stopped using Twitter for 2 days, and I probably had like the best 2 days without Twitter. But also, I had no apps on my phone. I had to like take a shit like how we used to back in the Stone Age without a phone. Yeah, I was just like going through my camera roll taking a shit, you know? Alright. That's enough. You can tell I'm running out of steam here. Alright, peace. See you all. Have a great rest of your day. And YouTube just gotta stop too. There we go.